Hi, I'm Brad DeRoche, and welcome to my course on sight reading. This is lesson 16. In today's lesson, we're moving on to something brand new, and that is we're going to include actual written melodies with music notation for the first time in this course. Now, most of you are already seasoned guitarists to a certain degree at least, and have read music before. At least I'm assuming that. If you haven't, if you've never actually read music notation, there are other primer courses by Sagreras, Aaron Shearer, and many others that you could use to help you to learn to read music. One of the things I won't do in this course is teach you how to read rhythms and all the other symbols that go along with music notation, such as meter signatures, expression marks, and so on. I'm just going to leave that out and leave that up to you to take care of. All right. So in today's lesson, what we're going to focus on is reading, music notation, and the collection of pieces that I'm going to work with today is a free source called Classical Guitar 1 by Peter Edvindsen. And this nice little collection is some really simple pieces that get us started, and it works well for us for our purposes here. Most of the pieces in here are simple rhythms with very few sharps and flats or accidentals in the key signature. So they work well. They kind of go along with the way I taught us to learn to read natural notes. All right, let's get started. We're actually going to look at the first page of music here. It's page 2 in his score. So I sent these to you, so you should try and open that one up and follow along if you could. Now we're going to skip past the top part here. You won't need that. We've already gone through that in our previous lessons. So this first piece here, Sunrise, it only has one pitch in it, so I'm just going to skip over that one. It's only got the note E in it. And I'd like to move on to the piece called Wake Up. All right, so this is the one we're going to be looking at. Now, don't actually read through it quite yet. I want to kind of talk about a protocol that we're going to use for sight reading. And what you want to do to become a better sight reader is really learn to look at a piece and play it at first sight. Now, to me, playing something at first sight doesn't mean playing perfectly necessarily. All right, we've talked about perfection in other videos and so on, and you probably know my feelings about that and that word in general. We're shooting for excellence here, all right? And excellence, in my opinion, would be getting a score of roughly 90% or higher. Now, what does that mean? If you're getting 90% of the pitches and rhythms right or more, then that's considered a good score and it's good enough and you move on. If you're getting less than that, well, maybe these pieces are too difficult or your tempo is too fast or something else. Maybe you're not focused that day. And so you need to make some adjustments there. Okay, so we're first going to start off by deciding on a metronome speed. So you need to have a metronome with this, and the speed is going to be completely up to you. Everybody's going to be at a different level, so I can't really suggest any specific speed for you. Again, you're just going to have to find that on your own. But let's start with a really basic concept here of how about 60 beats per minute. And so if you set your metronome at that, we could use that as the quarter note pulse for this first exercise called Wake Up. Now, when you're sight reading, there's a really good method that you could use to help you to ensure success your very first time through. And that method would involve pre-reading or scanning through the piece before you play it. That's without your guitar, so you just look at it, you're using just your mind. So when I look at the piece that's called Wake Up, the first thing I'm going to notice is that it's in 4/4 time. There's 2 lines of music, and at the end there's no repeat sign. So I'm just kind of scanning through. I'm looking for rhythm patterns next. Looks like just quarter notes and half notes in this piece, 1 whole note at the end. So the rhythms are pretty basic, and the pitch range in this one ranges from E up to F, and that's it. There's only 2 different notes in the piece. So I've already made those determinations before I even start to play. So that gives me a little bit of understanding of the piece without putting my fingers in the way. Okay, so that's step number 1. You pre-read the piece, you set a metronome, and then we're just going to start playing. Once we turn that metronome on and we start playing, you go through to the end, mistakes and all, and you're trying to get a 90% score or higher. So I'm just going to walk you through this one here, and then the rest of them will be up to you to follow a similar protocol. All right, so once you start, no stopping, play all the way through to the end, mistakes and all. If you make a mistake, you just keep moving. Try not to make a mistake in both pitch and rhythm. So if you play a wrong note, but you got the right rhythm, well, you only lost 1 point instead of 2. All right, so your score can still be pretty good. So anyway, keep moving no matter what. All right, that's the name of the game here. We'll talk about some other tips and techniques in the other upcoming lessons too, about how to make your sight reading better. But let's start this one. We're going to play just in low register today. All right, so low register only. So just the first few frets on the guitar and this tune called Wake Up. Got my metronome going here, 60 beats per minute. All right. So again, my pitches are just E and F. So once we start, we're going all the way through to the end. Are you ready? Let's play it together. I'll give you a 4 count, 2, 3, and. Look ahead. And done. So then I would think, all right, how did I do on that? I think I got a 100% score, played all the right notes and rhythms in that one. If you're getting 100% score every time, it's probably not tough enough for you. You need to increase the metronome speed or increase the difficulty level of the piece, or both. All right, since we're playing through the same pieces together, well, I'm going to let you decide on the metronome speed. Let's keep the pieces the same right now just to make it easy and kind of stay on the same playing field. But you need to increase the speed if this was too easy for you. If it was too difficult for you and you made mistakes and couldn't keep up, slow it down. That's all right. There's no shame in playing slower. We're looking, again, for a 90% score or better. That's our mark of excellence, okay? All right. So then what I think you should do is carry through and play a few more of these pieces. So there's one on the bottom. It's called Morning at the Sea. And so you would go with that one. Same protocol. I'm going to scan through it. It's in 4/4 time. It adds the note G. So if we're in low register, that's this G up here. And looks like it's, once again, quarter notes and half notes. You'd set your metronome. I'm just going to bump the tempo up on this one just because I felt like the last one was a little too easy for me. So now I'm going to go just a little bit faster. So I'm going to try 80 this time. So that's the pace of my quarter note now. So I'm going to give myself a 4 count. I've scanned through it already, looked for my rhythms, and there's no repeats and all that. So I'm ready to go. 1, 2, 3, and. Make sure you look ahead when you get to the end of a line. Okay, so I got a good score on that. Again, I feel like it's going a little too slow for me, so I would want to bump my tempo up to make it more of a challenge. So that, again, that's up to you. If 80 was a good mark for you and you feel like it's right in the sweet spot where you're getting like a 90% score, that's good. If you're getting a 100% score, you probably need to go faster, all right? If you're missing a bunch of notes or you had to stop, slow it down. Okay, you get the idea. So then, for today, what I would do is I would simply play these couple of melodies, and I would move on to the second page also, and I would play the first 3 on the next page. Let's skip the one on the bottom, all right? And there's a reason for it. It's got an F sharp in the key signature, and for the purpose of this course, we'll deal with sharps in the key signatures and accidentals a bit later on. So for now, just play all natural notes. So the first 6 pieces in this little collection are perfect for our intents and purposes. Play through those and just do them one time. Do not play them several times. Don't try to memorize them or learn them. That is not the point. You are here just simply to sight read it one time, go through it, keep the metronome, and play steadily with the metronome. and once you're done, you're done. All right, it should only take you a couple minutes, and I promise you, after a few weeks of this stuff, you're going to be a much better sight reader if you follow this course. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you'll join me again in the next lesson, and we're going to move up the fingerboard and play in the middle register in the next lesson, so please do join me for that one. All right, I'll see you soon. Cheers.